G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be looking around the Ubuntu 19.04 desktop, just a quick look. I don't think there's a lot of huge changes here. Obviously the one striking change would be the very nice, well implemented backdrop or wallpaper that's on here. Very nice indeed. So the theming is looking very nice on Ubuntu 19.04. Now I was looking through a little bit. There's no tweak tool available, so we'll have a look at that. That does not come out of the box in Ubuntu, the tweak tool. Now we'll have a look at the icons. Apparently I read somewhere that the icons have more support for third-party applications, so things will probably be looking a little bit more consistent across the board in Ubuntu. Now I was thinking that out of the box Ubuntu would probably benefit from a show desktop icon somewhere. I've got a video for that and I might just put it in the description below because it seems to be a very popular video. And judging by the popularity of that video, I'm surprised that they don't put simple little things like that really at the end of the day. It could really benefit. So one thing that I see straight out of the box are these system tray icons. Now I'm not sure what they're tweaking to run these, but out of the box they work. And if you have a look at my video I've just uploaded recently, GNOME 3.32, you'll see that in the standard GNOME desktop you don't have these system tray icons. And normally you need to put, I think it's top icons plus to get that working. So, but in Ubuntu, these things are working. So now I did open, the only thing is VLC is having a problem with the system tray. It doesn't want to quit. So I had to kill it in the system monitor. For some reason it just doesn't want to quit. So we'll just kill that and it'll disappear. There we go. Now the one thing I do like about this is they got the old style simple screen recorder system tray icon. Now if we have a look at that, and I like that because when I press the key combination to record, some desktops you don't even know whether it's recording or not. And this is just a very subtle way of telling you that, yep, the recording has started. And I like to see that visual when I start my recording. And if we have a look in the pictures, here, I've taken a couple of screenshots. And the screenshot is of the icon before recording. As you can see, it's just got, you can't really see that pause button when it's that small. You can. It's probably my eyesight's getting old. And then obviously what you can see now is this here. So I like that visual. Now some of the, in Linux Mint it's got like a little pause button and then it goes to a circle. So and sometimes I just get confused with it. Am I paused or am I recording? So it's just the red or no red. When it's red, you know you're recording. It's as simple as that. And I like this icon. And that's a nice little touch. So it seems to me that there's a few little things working out of the box in the system tray icons. So that's a plus for the Ubuntu desktop because that's already there. So I think in my other video I was showing we'll run through it again, under the settings. Under the settings you've got your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth, your background. So there's a background there. You got the dock, so you can put it bottom, right or left by default. You can auto hide the dock. You can change your notifications here for certain applications. You can choose to turn pop-ups off, lock screen notifications off. You can choose what goes into searching, language and region, universal access, online accounts. Oh, they've got an Ubuntu single sign-on. I've got an Ubuntu account. Privacy, applications. So here you can change your application's notifications and also other things, the default handlers. So like I said in my previous video, I'm not sure what this does. You can click it, but it does nothing. So I don't know if it's doing anything or not. Maybe that's there so in the future you can choose to do something with that. I'm not really sure. It's the same deal with all the others pretty much. So I'm thinking that if you don't want it to handle, if you don't want this application to handle these particular file types, then you can unset it. But it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. I'm not sure if that's working or not. Definitely doesn't do anything. Sharing, sound. Now one thing I've noticed with sound, and this seems to be, I don't know if it's just me or this is becoming a behavior that's becoming consistent, and that is that this thing here keeps changing. When I restart my computer, it'll be on the Yeti stereo. It just keeps going to Yeti by default. Now, that's happening in Linux Mint, and I'm pretty sure it happened on here as well. So I'm pretty sure I changed that. At this point, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I'm pretty sure I changed it. So that seems to be a behavior that seems to be creeping in on quite a few desktops that just recently I've noticed. Call me crazy if you like, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm pretty sure that's the case. So you've got your screen display, night light, you've got your scale which only works on Wayland. You change your resolution, orientation of the landscape, yep. Keyboard, so you can have a look at your keyboard shortcuts there, get to know them, mouse and touchpad. Printers, removable media, Thunderbolt and colour. Don't know what the colour does, to be honest. And then you got your details. Dingo. Development branch. This is the daily driver, by the way. Date, users, and I've set that so you got the round avatars and your default applications. Now I've changed this to VLC Media Player, and you'll see that it's still using Totem Player videos, which is this one. So I'm not sure whether I need to log out for that to work. I'm a little bit unsure of that. Maybe that's the case. So that's your settings. Now I don't know what the themes are, so we really need to go to the Software Center, and that's look for tweaks. Because it doesn't come with tweaks, we need to install it. Now that could be still populating. Might have to put a GNOME tweaks, maybe. GNOME tweak. Interesting. Let's try opening that again. It may still be populating, I think. Although it should have populated already by now. There we go. Now it's working. GNOME tweaks. That's probably the first time I've opened that, I think. So password. I want to see, I think it's Yaru and Suru are the name of the, I think Yaru was the name of the theme. I'm not 100% sure on that. So appearance, Yaru. So it's all called Yaru. Even the icons, okay. So that's the Yaru theme, which used to be called the community theme. Was the community theme? I think it was originally when it first started. And extensions. So we have no extensions in there. And that was, I was just having a look at, what's his name here? Joey Snedden. He's always good to find out a little bit of information, but there's not a lot there at the moment, probably because it's still in daily build. I'm expecting a bit more information to come out. Yaru, that's the one. I thought it was called Suru. So let's go to extensions. All right, as usual, it's not installed in the Firefox browser yet, so we click here and go allow and add. So that's okay, and we need to probably restart. Although gnome-shell integration is running, let's read the documentation. There's one more step we need to do, I believe. That will be under Ubuntu Linux, and it's this one here. So I was just watching Switch to Linux today, debunking some of the myths of Linux, and it says it forces you to use the command line, and that was a myth. But in this case, you could probably install that in the Synaptic Package Manager, which is probably not in here. No, it's not. Is it in the Software Center, Synaptic? And that's if you know what you're looking for. If you're new, you wouldn't know. Synaptic. And that's not there either. So in this case, yes, you have to use the command line, I believe. I'm not sure if there's any other way around that. And now you'll see there's no errors, it's all up and running, no problem. So I like to use dash to panel, and I like to see how Ubuntu handles dash to panel. Hopefully it is supported on the native one, so on the native GNOME, so it should be right in Ubuntu now. And there it is, and now it's installed. So I'm quite impressed with the speed in which some of these extensions. We're on a daily build and they're already, some of them are working, so that's a bonus. So if we look for the tweak tool, and let's put that, let's keep that in there, add to favorites, and go to extensions, dash to panel. Now this is where, if you're a little bit in between about your desktop environment, this one here sort of brings it into, what would you say, a normal desktop paradigm of like a Windows usage, so to speak. And you can tweak this dash to panel a little bit. Now what you can do here is there's one called, if I can find it, show desktop button, which is already there. So if you click that, that's the Windows type style. So that's pretty handy indeed. And that's all I pretty much need out of that. Got your notifications there. And by default, they have the minimum, maximum and close. So in standard GNOME, you have to use the tweak tool in here to add those, but they're already on by default in Ubuntu. It's pretty cool. Now the other thing is, they were saying that, oh, where was that? Let me look at that OMG Ubuntu site again. This one here, it might have been. It's a Joey Snedden one. They were talking about including the open source Chromium web browser available as a Snap app in the Snap Store, offering to enable geo-clue location, useful when traveling during setup, and improving app coverage in the Yaru icon set. They were going to put GS Connect, but it's going to miss this. I believe it's not going to be in this build. It isn't to be. It won't be by default in Ubuntu 1904. Okay. So they've already got snaps, I believe, in the Ubuntu store by default. So let's have a look at something like Telegram, which I always do. That's a very good way of... Telegram's not there. Interesting. Or is it just slow? Okay, so that took quite a while and came up eventually, but I didn't think it was going to do anything at all. So that was... Probably just takes a while. It's the Snap apps and all that, I would say, that takes a bit. So that's the Snap store. That would be the Snap store, yep. Snap store. And there's another one down here, probably from Dingo, yep. Ubuntu Disco. So if we want Flatpaks by default, Ubuntu Quick Setup, I'll leave a link to this. To install Flatpak on Ubuntu 18.10. For older versions, this one here, but I think if it's 18.10, I'm hoping it works for 1904 as well, so we'll see what happens there. Let's go with that, and then install the software plugin for GNOME software. And that's that. So what I'm going to need to do is a restart, and we'll come back and have a look at that. So we're back in the desktop, and we shall have a look at the software center. But before we do that, this wallpaper I found, I think it was on Joey Snedden's site. Just have a quick look at that. I believe it was on here. No, it was on another site I was looking at. Brought this one up. So if you want to know who that's created by, it's created by this person by the name of Sylvia Ritter. So her name actually might be on the... if I hide this panel down the bottom here, panel IntelliHide, there we go. And there's her name there, so I'll just leave that on there for now. And if you want to only hide the panel when it's obstructed by Windows, that's another setting you can do, like so. And once it gets obstructed, it'll move. So that's a nice little tweak there as well. I like that as well. So let's have a look at the software center. This software center at the moment seems to be a bit sluggish, so I have to think only because it's a daily build, it's not even a beta, so I can't criticize too much there. And because I've introduced Flatpaks, it might be just populating that as well, I would say. So it's not normally this slow. Oh, there we go, getting Flatpak. Okay, so that's the reason. There's always a reason, and the reason is have some patience. Alright, so if we do another search for Telegram, say for example, now we have two Telegrams down the bottom here. That one's a Flat Hub, so that's from Flatpak, and the other one will be Disco Dingo. There we go. So that's your Flatpak support if you need it. Now you've got the opportunity of downloading app images, Flatpaks, and snaps. So I'd actually be interested to know if the GNOME, what was it? The Chrome web browser is in here. It said that it's not going to make it in, so I doubt whether it's here. Let's try our luck. That'd be Chromium, wouldn't it? Okay, so Chromium there as Snap Store. So Chromium in the Snap Store. So I thought they said that they weren't doing that. And that's the Disco Dingo one. So let's have a quick look at this again. Other proposed plans include making the open source Chromium web browser available as a Snap app in the Snap Store, offering to enable GeoClue location. Okay, so they are, it's the GS Connect I'm thinking of, isn't it? So the Chromium is there in the Snap Store. So there you go. So Ubuntu 1904 is looking pretty nice at the moment, I must say. And with Dash to Panel, you can have a couple of different tweaks of your environment if you wish. So we can, let's say, position bottom and top. So I don't know why Dash to Panel is made bottom and top but no left. I wonder if that's because it doesn't interfere with the Ubuntu one. So if we turn off Dash to Panel, so then you get that. So maybe that just makes it a little bit cleaner. It's an interesting one though, I must say. But really at the end of the day, top and bottom is probably the best places for that type of environment to work. It probably doesn't work too well on the left anyway, so that probably makes sense. So if you want it back on the left, you can just switch off Dash to Panel and you are back to normal. So I notice we've still got these menus up the top here. I believe they will be going. The client side decorations will be coming in, and I believe Rhythmbox will be getting those as well, but still not there yet. So one thing I will have another look at is the kernel. Now there's another thing I've noticed, and that was in, that's not an Ubuntu fault, that's a GNOME fault. The windows are not in focus when you open them. Let's try that again. Now you notice that is not in focus, and that was happening on, also happening on the Arco Linux that I was using as well. Windows were not in focus. If I start typing, there's nothing happening. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So we are on this one on the 5 kernel. Wow. So we're up to 5 there. That might change back or not, I don't know. Have a quick look at System Monitor, not that it matters, I've been using a fair bit. We're on 1.3. So, and I find the speed, besides the population of Ubuntu Software Center, the speed is pretty snappy. So, not too bad at all. Sound there. Thunderbird, we'll just check out what version that is. 60.6. Nice. And LibreOffice. Everything opens really quick. Now that's the first time I've opened LibreOffice, and that was fast. So it's definitely a huge improvement there, no doubt about it. 6.2.1.2. So in the utilities in the menu, you have this utilities here grouped up. You've got some apps in here. You've got disks, disk usage analyzer, and backups, and advanced net something. Now it looks like one thing I want to say, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't know why they can't have the whole name. Is there a reason why they can't? I'm not technical enough to know how these spaces work in these icons, but if they could get the full name in everything would be nice, because at least a tooltip, at least put in a tooltip or something so we know the full name of the application. I just find that's a real annoying point for me in GNOME. Let's just see simple screen. Software and up-D. You've got a startup disk creator there too in Ubuntu as well. So there are a couple of annoyances, and they're not bad annoyances, it's just that I think it looks a bit more professional when you got the whole name there. People seem to think this is pretty cool. At least you can read what it is, instead of having to open the application to find out what the full name is, like this one here, LibreOffice Draw. There we go. Have a tooltip or something, would be nice. It'd be nice if there was a tooltip just to back that up if that's just a little bit too hard to change. I don't know how hard it is to put a tooltip in either, so it's easy for me to say, I suppose, but I don't know the technicalities of it all, so it's just an observation. It would be nice to have those little things. You got notifications up there. Device can be removed. Calendar with the little red square. Nice little touch. You've got right click on the desktop, display settings and settings. They take you to the same settings, but that will take you directly to the display settings, like so. And this one will take you to the settings, but it will be on display because that was the last one open. Show desktop in files. Now one more thing I noticed is when you come into here, if you right click, you got new folder, but you haven't got new document and so forth. So if you want a new document, just open up a blank document file, save as, home and templates. Give that a name, new Word document. Save that. I've clicked save. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It seems as though it's hanging a little bit. So it looks like it's... Alright, so something's happened there. Alright, so that's... Oh. So a little bit of a unexpected behaviour there. But we're still working. It's alright. I hope we're still working anyway. So if we go to documents now, right click, we have new Word document, like so. And you can name it and then you can open it. There we go. And the same thing goes with all your documents. So if you use the text document, text editor, which is probably gedit, about text editor, gedit, and we save under templates, new text document, save that. Didn't have any hiccups on that one, don't know why that won't minimize. And then we can go there and right click, new text document, new Word document. You can keep going with all your documents for that. The other thing you can do is now we got preferences here. Normally I'd go up here for preferences. I've noticed that that's now down in here. Preferences, behavior, single click if you want, and done. Okay, so that was a quick look around Ubuntu 1904. Hope you found the video interesting and informative, and thank you for watching.